Welcome, everyone, to this evening's virtual report to the community. My name is Greg Link, and I'm proud to be a Career Trek board member for the past decade. I'm a career counselor who's seen firsthand the impact that our Career Trek programming has had on the youth of our province. Tonight, we have an hour of sharing Career Trek stories and updates, and we'll be joined by special musical guest, three-time Juno-nominated artist Don Amero. We are really excited to be sharing this evening with you. Before we get things started, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the territories in which Career Trek is honored and humbled to work. A few of my fellow board members have recorded acknowledgements in advance.
Career Trek acknowledges, respects, and has the honor of working on lands in Treaty 1 territory, a treaty that was entered into in 1871 at Lower Fort Garry. It is important to recognize the land on which we're gathered is the traditional and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Inanuak, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples who, prior to contact with Europeans, created and maintained important trade routes, belonged to the land and respected non-human species, and thrived in a culture that was celebrated through language, ceremony, tradition, and a sustainable economy. Just as important is the acknowledgement that Treaty 1 territory is also the homeland of the Métis Nation, a nation that came to be in the late 18th, early 19th century, a nation of people of mixed Indigenous and European ancestry with its own distinct culture, language, and history. As we gather in Treaty 1 territory, it is important to recognize and honor Treaty 3, in particular Shoal Lake 40 First Nation, the source of Winnipeg's clean drinking water. To honor the gift of water, Career Trek will support Shoal Lake 40 First Nations work to end a decades-long boil water advisory and recognize the importance and impact of the all-weather road that opened in June of 2019.
Career Trek acknowledges, respects, and has the honor of also working on lands in Treaty 2 territory, a treaty that was negotiated and entered into in 1871 at Manitoba House. It is important to recognize that the land on which we are gathered is the traditional and ancestral lands of the Dakota, Anishinaabe, Inanuak, Oji-Cree, Dene, and Métis peoples. It is on this land that, prior to European contact, Indigenous peoples established and maintained important trade routes, connected with and lived off the land, and thrived in a culture of language, ceremony, tradition, and a sustainable livelihood.
Career Trek acknowledges, respects, and has the honor of working on lands in Treaty 5 territory, a treaty that was first negotiated and entered into in 1875 in Barons River. Treaty 5 territory is the traditional ancestral lands for many Indigenous peoples who, prior to contact with Europeans, established and maintained important trade routes, connected with and lived off the land, and thrived in a culture that was celebrated through language, ceremony, tradition, and a sustainable livelihood.
As we think about and acknowledge Treaty 1, Treaty 2, Treaty 3, Treaty 5, and the homeland of the Métis Nation, and as we move along the path of truth and reconciliation, it will be important to remember that we are on this journey because of the history that, until recently, hasn't been told, the true history, a colonial history that shapes Canada's relationship with Indigenous peoples. In the era of truth and reconciliation, it will be important to ensure there is a dedicated commitment from individuals and institutions to the 94 calls to action outlined by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the 46 articles of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, and the 231 calls for justice that came from the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirit People. Taken from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's Principles of Reconciliation, together, Canadians must do more than just talk about reconciliation. We must learn how to practice reconciliation in our everyday lives, within ourselves and our families, and in our communities, governments, places of worship, schools, and workplaces. To do so constructively, Canadians must remain committed to the ongoing work of establishing and maintaining respectful relationships.
Thank you so much, Career Trek board members from across the province, for acknowledging that we live and work on treaty land. Career Trek, as some of you probably know, is a charitable organization that helps Manitobans reach their full potential through hands-on learning and skill building. You'll hear more tonight from some of these young people who've learned new things about themselves at Career Trek. Throughout the night, you will also have the opportunity to support Career Trek by making a one-time donation. You can text the word GIVE to 204-813-5444. That number will be in the chat and on the screen for you, or you can visit careertrek.ca/donate. If you have any questions about donating or anything you hear tonight, we have Career Trek staff monitoring the chat and assist you. We got a lot to share with you tonight, so let's get things started. It's my pleasure to introduce Barb Bowen, the chair of Career Trek's board of directors. Barb is the director of special programs at Manitoba Aerospace, has been involved with Career Trek since the turn of the century. She's going to share a bit with us about last year at Career Trek. As you can imagine, has looked a little different than usual. Thanks for joining us tonight, Barb.
Wow. 2020 has taken us on quite the ride, and all of our lives have changed significantly. The impact of COVID-19 and how we interact with each other at work and in public will probably be changed forever. Like the rest of us, Career Trek has had to make changes on the fly as important safety restrictions and public health orders have been announced by our governments in their attempts to keep the pandemic under control. On behalf of the board of directors, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Rhonda and all the staff for the way you have worked so hard to adjust on behalf of Career Trek. This organization does great and important work, and we are pleased that the staff has been able to pivot so quickly and successfully. Moving from personal interactions to virtual communication is not an easy transition. The entire Career Trek team is to be commended and celebrated for your continued resilience, enthusiasm, and flexibility. Thank you. 2021 is only a few weeks away, and the recent announcement of possible vaccine for COVID-19 brings us hope that the pandemic will be brought under control by the end of the year. However, the Career Trek programming for 2021 will look very different. I am confident that the staff of Career Trek will continue to ensure that our programs are relevant, engaging, and fun for the participants. On behalf of the board of directors, I would also like to express our sincere thanks to the government of Manitoba and our other donors and funders for your ongoing support of Career Trek and its programs. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my fellow board members. Thank you all for your efforts this year and adjusting your own busy schedules to attend to the business of Career Trek. You are much appreciated. And together we will overcome this. We look forward to continuing to work together in 2021 in a safe and healthy community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barb, for that update. Next, we'll have Vic Belay, who'll be speaking to us about a special member of our Career Trek community who we had to say goodbye to this year.
Thank you, Greg. On August the 16th of this year, the Career Trek family lost a great friend with the passing of Gord Hannon. Gord was one of the original members of the Career Trek Board of Directors and served on the board with distinction since 1999. Gord was a longtime secretary of the organization and a longtime member of the Finance Committee. Gord started his own Career Trek in Atikokan, Ontario, where he was raised in a family that valued education. He was the oldest of 3 children. In 1978, Gord attended the University of Manitoba and obtained his Bachelor of Arts degree in 1981. Gord was accepted into the law school at the University of Manitoba that same year and graduated with his Bachelor of Laws degree in 1984. Fatefully for this program, it was during his university years that Gord met and befriended Daryl Cole, who would later become the founder of Career Trek. The two had a lifelong bond. After his graduation from law school, Gord accepted employment with the Legal Services branch of the Manitoba Department of Justice in Winnipeg. His legal career spanned 36 years. During this time, he earned the respect of his colleagues as a capable lawyer, a valued mentor, and as a leader. He attained the position of general counsel, reserved for the Justice Department's leading legal practitioners. General counsel demonstrate exceptional legal ability and competence, practice at the highest levels of ethical conduct, and are the mentors and role models for other Crown attorneys and for all staff. His efforts for Career Trek modeled this demonstrated ability. In 1999, the Career Trek program was at a crossroads. The initial 3-year agreement that funded Career Trek came to an end. In order to keep the program going, Darrell Cole decided to form a not-for-profit corporation to continue the work of the program. He called on Gord to serve as one of the first directors of the new organization. As you might imagine, the formative years of Career Trek were challenging, and the organization and operation of the new enterprise demanded a significant commitment. Gord brought his knowledge of the operations of government, his legal expertise, and his background in dealing with the finances of a not-for-profit agency to this task. Perhaps most importantly, he was a constant support and friend to Darrell, who needed that support as he struggled with the demands of operating the fledgling operation. Gord brought that friendship and support to the board and staff of Career Trek. He was a kind and supportive individual with a great sense of humor. His voice was an important one when it came to the operations of Career Trek, and the board greatly appreciated the valuable contribution that he made to develop the governance of the organization. In addition to providing support to Darrell, Gord took a pivotal role in supporting Bill Hicks, our operations manager, during the time when Career Trek was transitioning to a new CEO. For the last 3 years of his life, Gord bravely waged a battle against cancer. This battle did not prevent him from continuing his service to Career Trek. He continued to be a member of the Finance Committee and attended meetings remotely. He also continued on as secretary until he felt that he could no longer do so. Gord remained committed to the work being done by the organization. After his passing, because of the importance that he placed on education and on the mission of Career Trek, his estate and his wife donated $5,000 each to Career Trek towards the establishment of a scholarship fund. Gord, we miss you every day. We continue to do the work to which you dedicated 2 decades of your life. As we mourn your passing, we are thankful for the friendship and fellowship that we were able to share. On behalf of the staff and board of Career Trek, and on behalf of the entire community, I am proud to acknowledge your enormous contribution to this organization. I hope that your dedication will be an inspiration to those who continue to carry out the mission and vision of Career Trek. Thank you, Greg.
Friend delivered such a fitting tribute. Thank you so much, Vic. Next, we have a story that we want to share. Christopher Jerry is a longtime Career Trek staff member, teaches lessons in Western region of the province. He will share with us why Career Trek means so much to him in a video interview a few weeks ago. Enjoy.
I was never quite sure what I wanted to do, but I know I wanted to be involved in the sciences, and I had a strong leaning that I wanted to be involved with youth and adolescents. Having had some pretty rough times in school myself, I thought it would be a good place to start. to thinking about how I can help the kids. I get a call and they said, I was just checking your resume. Would you like to be the biology instructor? We have an opening and your experience in the lab and the sciences is more than enough to qualify you. So, okay. I took on the role as the science instructor. Being in front of everyone, that was terrifying. But this really helped me overcome that. Now I want to do it forever. Not career track per se, but just teaching, educating. My current path right now, I'm in education, doing my first year in the after degree program. And it's because I wanted to see what I could do with more time with the kids, with participants. You only get 3 or 4 hours with these kids, and I want to see what I could do if I had more time. What kind of an impact could I make? You've given me more than you can imagine. Not just a career aspiration, not just, you've given me a family. I mean that. I mean, really, I met my wife through Career Track. And she's currently in the living room trying to get our newborn to stop fussing and go to take a nap. But I wouldn't have met her if it hadn't been for Career Track. And I've been around long enough that I have quite literally seen everything. Good, bad, problem days, perfect days. Those exist, they're rare, but they do happen. I'm just not fazed by it anymore. And to me, it's my own little happiness. And I couldn't imagine what my life would have been like without it. Like, I know everyone talks about how Career Track helps the participants, but my story is a weird one where they actually helped me in more ways than I could imagine. They let me find my passion, someone to share my life with. I don't know what else I can say to properly express my gratitude and my joy at this program. I don't think there's ever been something as important to me as Career Track that wasn't a person.
Wow, what a great story. So great to see how Career Track can have an impact on participants as well as the people who help them. A reminder, if you'd like to support Career Track, you can text GIVE to the number on the screen, 204-813-5444, or visit careertrack.ca/donate. I'm really excited for our next speaker, Career Track CEO Rhonda Taylor. Rhonda will be sharing some insights and getting you involved with some hands-on activities this evening. Welcome, Rhonda.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. It's so good to see everybody, and I, say that in air quotes because I would certainly love to be able to see everybody in person. But thank you so much for being here with us tonight to share in this experience, to hear a little bit more from a number of different people. And I'm so excited to, take a few minutes to be able to highlight some really exciting things that happened this past program year with everyone tonight. So just, some quick tidbits and things that we saw over this past year that, really demonstrate to us that we're on the right path of, giving all of our participants the chance to really experience a wide variety of career options that are out there. This year in our Wonder of Work program, which is a career exploration program for kids in grade 5-6, 94% of our participants who registered graduated. And we couldn't be, more thrilled to know that there's, almost 500 kids at that age that are, looking forward to what's going to come next in their own education journeys. We had participants explore over 150 careers across probably 30 different sectors. Again, giving everybody a really broad range of experiences and insight into what possibilities exist out there. We really pride ourselves on our ability to be able to engage with our families, with adults in our participants' lives. And we do that by bringing them together, 2 or 3 times a year for family days. And what it really does is give the parents or caregivers or adults a chance to also experience career track. They go through the same lessons, they have to do the same reflections, they get their hands dirty, so that when the kids leave our program, the parents can continue those conversations with them. We recognize that we don't have a lot of time with each of our participants, but really encourage our families to continue those conversations. So our family days are a really great way to bring all of that together. We're so honored, every year to hire post-secondary students to be able to, facilitate our programs. And many of our part-time staff are former career trekkers themselves, which is so cool that we're able to maintain that connection with them. So not only have they had their own experiences when they're younger with the program, they're now, those post-secondary students that are in university or college programs who can really get kids excited about the possibilities that exist for them when they get there. The other group of people that are, amazing in all of this are our junior staff. And these are high school students in grade 9 to grade 12 who do volunteer their time with us, but they're there as mentors, as role models, as supports, and as learners, right? They get to experience, a lot of the lessons and activities that the kids go through as well. And it reminds them as well that, there are a number of opportunities for them to, look beyond high school graduation. And one of the things, that we've found extremely, helpful and beneficial over the years in terms of supporting families is our ability to be able to award scholarships to children. And this is a way that, lots of families can save for their child's education through RESPs. So the $10,000 that we were able to distribute last year will help parents get started in saving for their child's education. So, we're really trying to do, what we can to best set our participants up for success as they continue their own education and career journeys. This is just to give you a quick look of the places that we're working, the partners that we have, the schools we work with, the post-secondary friends and supporters that we have in different parts of the province. What was exciting, this year was that we were able to add 2 new campuses to our community, I guess, our career trek community. One was Assiniboine Community College in Dauphin, and the other was Neeganon College here in Winnipeg. We adjusted some of our programming for our participants who were coming from that Dauphin area and a bit beyond, just to try and reduce some of their travel. And we found that there was a really good response to kids being on campus in Dauphin and having the same chance to experience a number of different occupations. So we are extremely grateful for, our partners in all of this, because we certainly couldn't do it without them. I just want to spend, a couple of minutes going through some successes and some spotlights, again, to really give you the flavor in terms of, what we were able to accomplish over the last, year. And I've already mentioned and touched on this a little bit, but one of the things that, is a really great component of the program are family days. So here in Winnipeg, just specific to the Winnipeg region, we had over 900 friends and families members attend our family days. And as you can see from this picture, right, we're not kidding when we say we get, the adults involved in the activities, right? So that they can have those conversations and remind our participants about what they experienced, what they learned, what did they like and what did they not like, right? Because those things are really important. And we really do value, the input that we get from parents that are involved in the program, because if we can get them excited, they can keep their kids excited long after they've left the program. This year, our Empower program, which is a program for young moms who are currently in high school, we again, year over year, we see tremendous success with this program and our partners that, come together with us to give these young women the chance again to really explore and try and hone in on some specific interests in terms of where they'll go next after they graduate. And this is just a small snapshot of some of the young women who were involved in the Empower program this year. And one of the things we did this year that we added to the program was something that we called success story spotlights. And what we were looking to accomplish with this particular aspect of the program was creating a way for these young women to connect with working professionals, with women who were in different industries, who were involved in different types of work, so that they could also be a new connection, a new role model, a new supporter, a new mentor potentially, to talk to these ladies about what it's going to take to get there, right? So, they all have young families, they're all continuing on with their education and beyond. And then once you get beyond that education, there is this next phase of having to navigate the world of work. And so the Success Story Spotlight was really a great way for these young women to hear the ups and downs and the challenges sort of faced by women who are in different industries and working in different businesses. The night that I actually got to be there was the night that a good friend of mine by the name of Jody Moskal was there. And Jody, for any of you who know her, she is an electrician by trade, and she ran her own electrical company for about 20 years. She's now transitioned away from that and is still working in the field, not as a tradesperson, but she was just instrumental, I think, in talking to the young women about work in the trades, right? Because again, women tend to be typically underrepresented in those fields, but she really was able to put a spin on it that, definitely got some of the wheels turning in the minds of some of the participants. So it was great to see that switch happen for some of the young women. This was an exciting project for Career Trek over the past year. We were part of the Manitoba Open Innovation Challenge that was hosted by North Forge in partnership with Healthy Child Manitoba. And what they were looking to do is to have competitors come up with a solution and a prototype to a particular problem. And so the problem that we were presented with was to come up with a solution to help better prepare preschool children for kindergarten. And what that resulted in for us was something called Preschool Trek. We ended up being one of 3 finalists who had to do a final pitch. And I know one of the pitch presenters is with us tonight, Anatoly. And what the Preschool Trek program was an 8-week literacy and numeracy program that got parents working only about 15 minutes a day on different reading, writing, and numeracy activities. Because what we were looking to do was to increase those skills by the end of 4 weeks. And what we found, at the end of the program was that a number of the kids actually did increase their literacy and numeracy rates. And what we also found was that about 75% of the parents felt that they were better prepared and more knowledgeable to help their kids develop in those areas where they are really their child's first teacher. So it was an exciting challenge to be part of. And what we're doing with the prototypes now is we're looking at how we can embed the activities and the resources into our Empower program. So it's something that we can continue to use, and the children that are involved in our programs can certainly benefit. I'm excited to share, this success story with you for a few reasons, and I'll actually read the full story. But this is Keenan, and he's one of our participants from Crane River. He was a recipient of the I Will Succeed award this year. So he now has an RASP that was started in his name so that he could or can now start saving for his post-secondary education. And the reason I'm going to read the story to you is because, well, let me just read it to you and you'll know why. So it says, Keenan Morrisseau is the 2019-2020 I Will Succeed Award recipient for the Dauphin region. He was part of the 2018-2019 Wonder of Work Dauphin program, but because of challenges related to behavior, his dad withdrew him from all extracurricular activities. During that time, Keenan assisted the school custodians with cleaning the schools in the evening and was taking extra lessons with his teachers. Keenan returned to the Wonder of Work Dauphin program this year. This time, he was much more engaged, curious, participated a lot more, and was also helping others while they were struggling. Given the change witnessed over the last year, Keenan was selected to receive one of the I Will Succeed awards, which is a $1,000 scholarship used to open his RASP. When the Education Savings and Financial Literacy Specialist called to inform Keenan and his family about the scholarship, she was greeted with excitement as his grandmother noted, he was bouncing all over the wall. He was so excited to learn what the money was for and said he could not wait to follow in the footsteps of his cousin who just received a scholarship as well. Keenan said he can't wait to graduate and be as famous as his cousin who is going to college. To celebrate Keenan's success, the community of Crane River posted the announcement of Keenan's scholarship so everyone could share in the excitement. And so we certainly send many heartfelt congratulations to Keenan for his success and for the changes that happened, certainly over the past year. And we were thrilled to have him back with us. Moving to the north, this is Cassidy. So Cassidy is, one of the, people I think of as sort of moving through the ranks. She started off as a Wonder of Work participant when she was in grade 5, grade 6. She transitioned and became one of our junior staff mentors when she was in high school. She was then hired as our group leader and assisted our program manager with a number of different tasks, I'm sure. And this year, Cassidy is attending university at Brandon because she wants to pursue a career in teaching. And it has a lot to do with her involvement with Career Trek, similar to what you heard from Chris earlier. What's really cool about this story is that because she's gone to Brandon University, our program manager in Brandon, Lenya, snagged her, recruited her, and she is now working for our Career Trek Wonder of Work program in our West region this year. So even though she's moved, we've not lost her and she's still with us. And it was funny as I was putting this together and talking to Karen and the PAW, I said, can you send me a couple of pictures? And so I laughed when I got this one, and she told me that Cassidy, over the years that she's been involved with us, has always been the either junior staff or group leader who has volunteered to be the patient for the healthcare lesson plan that the kids do. So I actually have probably 2 or 3 pictures, different pictures of Cassidy bandaged up and masked up and all of those things. So she is certainly a go-getter and jumps in with no hesitation. Another program that we had running this year, which again was new for us, this one was, it's called CRAVE, but Career Readiness and Amazing Volunteer Experience, that has been funded by Canada Service Corps. And, at the core of all we do, it really is about that career exploration and sharing those experiences with the students. But what we did with this one was add a bit of a twist or a new component, I guess. Because we were working and looking to connect with high school students, we also wanted to give them the opportunity to give back to their community in some way. So is there something that's going on in their community that they want to have a closer look at? Is there a challenge? Is there a need? Is there something going on that they felt they wanted to be able to try and come up with a solution for? And it was amazing as they started to think about and really look at and connect with their community a little bit more. the different things that bubble to the surface. And as you can see, from the list here, each of the groups that we were working with had something else, or had something different in mind, right? Everything from, equality and inclusion to public safety, homelessness, mental health, environmental activism. And it was really, encouraging to see the students get into those solutions and that solutions mindset, right? So even though these were challenges and needs that they were seeing in their community, they were super excited to be able to talk about what kinds of solutions might exist to address these things. And we do have a printed report to the community that you will have access to. And in there, we do share another success story from one of our participants. So I would encourage you to have a look at that print document as well, just to see the type of impact this program has had on high school students and how they can use this experience to even guide or drive, what they'll do in their careers, right? And maybe it'll be something, that they are passionate about that they can explore a little bit further. And again, another new program that was happening in partnership and relationship with Essential Skills Manitoba was Adult Career Trek. And what was really fun about this one, try and figure out how to do it with some of our high school programs as well, is that the career exploration for this particular program actually happened in different business locations. So the career exploration that we typically do happens at post-secondary institutions, so that we're taking kids there, they can see themselves on campus, they can explore a little bit. But what Adult Career Trek did was take participants to 12 different employers. And while they're there, they experienced a particular job. Again, they got that hands-on, firsthand look at what it would take to do a particular career in a number of different industries. And so we had hospitality partners, we had trucking partners, theater partners, trades partners, and it really gave the participants in the program, again, that broad sort of spectrum of possibilities that exist. So it was Marlborough Hotel, it was the Forks Market, Maxim Truck and Trailer, North Forge, University of Winnipeg, Canada Goose, Manitoba Theatre Centre, Assiniboine Park Conservancy. And in those places, they were able to make connections with HR personnel, supervisors, managers, helping them build their network, asking questions about what does it take to apply for a job, what sort of qualifications or skills or other training do they need to have. So again, it was really instrumental in giving the participants a chance to just get a feel for what exists. This is certainly one of my favorite quotes from one of the participants, right? And just that idea of, I wish I'd had the opportunity to take Career Trek sooner. And we have heard that, in a number of different instances, even from family members who come to family days and have that opportunity to experience some of our programming. And then the other, piece of work that is really important to the organization is around the commitments that we're making to truth and reconciliation. So, as a non-Indigenous organization, we are certainly mindful of our commitments we need to make, both organizationally and as individuals, to this path of truth and reconciliation. Every year, about 40% of our participants do identify as Indigenous, and we need to be mindful and aware of that. We are partnering and working in relationship with Indigenous communities in both rural and remote settings. And we need to know, from a trauma-informed perspective, from a knowledge perspective, from a relational perspective, the impacts that, history has certainly had on Indigenous peoples. And so to date, we've spent some time with knowledge keepers in our community to learn about colonization and its impacts, residential schools. All staff have gone through the blanket exercise, which again gives a few more definitely insight into those kinds of things. And as you heard earlier, our land acknowledgement. So then just quickly, we get to the point where we've already heard before that COVID showed up and had an impact on things that were going on. So I quickly just want to do something kind of fun with you, I hope. So if you can grab your smartphones quickly and search up www.menti.com. You should be able to see it on your screen right now. And when you get there, you should enter the code that is at the top. Once you're there, you should be able to answer the question. Where were you the week of March 9th? If somebody can tell me if it's working, that would be great.
I'm in, Rhonda. It's working.
Okay, thank you. And we won't stay at school. Yes. Thompson. Yes. I think I was in Toronto that week and it was just starting to become more prevalent in the news. So yes, all of these things certainly started to happen. I'll just switch back quickly. I know I'm running out of time. Thank you for people keeping me on track here. But these, we saw these things happening in the news. These were the headlines. These were things that were happening and certainly affecting everything around us, as you've heard, earlier. And I've been likening our, experience with Career Trek to a bit of a boxing match, right? We're in a boxing match with an endless amount of rounds right now. We've maybe been knocked down a little bit, but we get up, we brush ourselves off, and we continue on. And we will do that because we are resilient. But it really has created opportunities for us as well to build some online content that helps us connect with the public in a different way. We've been able to have conversations about virtual learning opportunities and building relationships with some more key strategic partners. So as challenging as it's been, there has also been really great opportunity. And quickly, just looking ahead, because we've made this shift to online learning, I think it will give us an opportunity to expand our programming further within the community as well as outside. We can build in other tours. We can build programming to meet community need. And we really are looking at how we can explore and expand partnerships with community-based organizations, and recognizing that we still have work to do to increase our engagement with elders and knowledge keepers to ensure our programming is respectful of all of our communities and participants. Just quickly, I have to say this because this is the group of full-time staff who have been working tirelessly to shift, swivel, adapt, pivot, stand on their heads, turn around, bend into a pretzel, to make that adjustment to ensure that regardless of what comes at us, we are still delivering exceptional programming. So a huge shout out goes to these individuals that you see here. I am proud to work with each and every one of you every single day. And just a thank you. There's so many people to thank. I won't list because I know I'm over time, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows how much I appreciate everything that's happened. And again, thank you to all of you for being here. And I'm done.
It's great to hear good news stories and learn more about the impact that Career Trek has on the people and the communities. It's absolutely inspiring. Before we hear from our musical guest, Don Amero, I'd like to introduce Career Trek's Director of Communications and Development, Kyle Mason. Kyle joined Career Trek this year after extensive work in development in various Manitoba communities. Welcome, Kyle.
Hey everybody, my name is Kyle and I'm the Director of Communications and Development here at Career Trek. And I just wanted to come here for a moment just to say thank you for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. I'm imagining you're here tonight because you care about Career Trek and you care about the things that Career Trek does. And of course, as you know, we help youth and young people across this province find their full potential, find a career or a job that they will become passionate about, and that they will find new heights and new successes in their lives that they may not have found before. So I know that you care about these youth. I know you care about the work at Career Trek. So I'm asking tonight that you would take a moment to consider joining us by donating $25 to Career Trek so that you can make a difference in young people's lives. We need people like you to join us. So this evening, I'm asking you if you would donate $25 in a one-time gift to Career Trek. We're on our way to having 100 people join us in this initiative of donating $25. There's already a growing number of people, so I'm asking you tonight to join that growing number of people. We want to reach 100 people and giving $25 within the next few weeks, and with your help tonight, that can be done. So you'll see the link. Please follow the instructions on the link and join us and by donating $25, and you will make a difference in young people's lives. So thank you very much. Now I also want to mention that coming up in a little while, we have a question and answer session coming up, so stick around for that. But right now, I want to introduce my good friend, Don Amero. Don Amero is a 3-time Juno-nominated recording artist. He's got an amazing voice, but on top of that, he's an amazing guy. So everybody, let's take a moment and let's welcome Don Amero.
Hi, everybody. I'm Don Amero. I just wanted to say thanks for inviting me to be part of this evening, and hopefully that wherever you're watching this, that you're enjoying the evening. Although this is probably not the ideal way that was planned to get together when first thinking of this, but it is 2020, and this is how we got to do it for now. I look forward to actually being in person one of these days, but until then, this will have to suffice. I'm a singer-songwriter born and raised right here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and still live in Winnipeg. I'm actually now at this is my in-laws' house. I'm in their basement. I've tucked away in got a little space set up here there. I got 3 kids too, so it's not always easy for me to do this kind of stuff at home. So I have to run away and sneak away to get these kinds of things done. But this song I have for you guys, it's a song called Won't Give Up. I love this song. It's sort of been a bit of an anthem for me over the years. It's, throughout my career, I've been doing music now full time for getting pretty close to 15 years. And I remember, for the first, I'd say 10 years, every month I'd go through these, what I could call white flag moments where I felt like I just got to throw in the towel. I can't keep doing this. And, either through sheer will, divine intervention, or just something great happening in my world, kind of keeps me going. The encouragement of friends sometimes kind of, just is what you needed to get through. And so this song is a little bit about sort of that idea of not giving up and always finding the reason to fight. And I believe that each one of us has this spark inside of us that's always worth fighting for. That's what this song means. It's called Won't Give Up. Ain't nowhere to go up against the road when lonely hits the heart like a heavy blow. Well, I ain't scared to fight, but I've been wearing down. It's hard to throw a punch when you're on the ground. You might think that the fight is over. It might look like I'm down for the count, but I'm a rolling stone. I am wild and free, and if no one's by my side, the war Yeah, I've been in the dark, but that ain't me no more. There's a light inside of me worth fighting for. I'm a rolling stone. I am wild and free. And if no one's by my side, I won't give up. Yeah. Ooh. Oh. Oh. When there's only moments left, you wished you'd bet on me, 'cause I was never down. I was only on my knees. I'm a rolling stone. I keep rolling on. I'm the tried and true. When the road is long, and I will stand my ground, just like an old oak tree. And if no one's by my side, I'll never run and hide. I won't give up on me. So a couple years ago, maybe a little more than a couple years ago now, I came across this song. It's a song called Church. Now it's not a religious song, so to speak, but it is a song that I think sort of, for me, connected me with something greater than myself. And from what I hear from a lot of people, that it kind of has that same effect on them. You know, I was, a couple years ago, I was driving around listening to songs that I was, you know, looking to record for my upcoming album at the time. It's called Evolution, the album. And this song Church came on, and I was like, that is a great song, but I didn't think it was a me song. And I kind of let it pass. And then my manager said a week later, maybe just take one more listen. And so I did. And this song kind of hit me in a whole new way, because about a year prior to hearing this song, my dad had passed away. And so he was always kind of, wasn't a church going guy, but he was always saying that his church was the great outdoors. For him, it was kind of being out in nature, next to some trees, some water, usually with a fishing pole in hand. And when I made the connection to my dad in this song, I realized this song really wasn't about me, it was about him. And when I kind of thought that through, I realized I had to do this song. And luckily it was still available. And so this song came out a couple of years ago. It's called Church. And if it resonates with you, you know, especially in these days, I think we got to find ways to connect with the divine, I guess I could say. And this song does it for me, and hopefully it does for you too. Way out in the woods, nobody there, middle of nowhere. You might just see trees and weeds and dirt, but I call it church. Hey, hey, it ain't nothing but a river, little place I float on an old John boat. Might look like just a ride and reeling worms, but I call it church. Hey, hey, it ain't no Sunday morning, it ain't no preacher preaching, but out here in the quiet, I can hear him speaking to me. Out where the wild things roll, out on this country road, sun, the stars, and the Holy Ghost. Yeah, I go to church. Some nights I sit out on the hood of my old truck, I look up and I feel like I can see the whole wide world. Yeah, I stare at that full moon, I drink a beer and breathe in the and I thank him for the more than I deserve. And I go to church, hey, hey, hey. It ain't no Sunday morning, it ain't no preacher preaching, but out here in the quiet, I can hear him speaking to me. Out where the wild things grow, out on this country road, sun, the stars, and the Holy Ghost. Yeah, I go to church. I go to church. No people, no pews, no steeple, just blue skies. I'm praying with my eyes wide open, wide open. Oh, it ain't no Sunday morning, it ain't no preacher preaching, but out here in the quiet, I can hear 'em. It ain't no Sunday morning, it ain't no preacher preaching, but out here in the quiet, I can hear him speaking. Out where the wild things grow, out on this country road, sun, the stars, and the Holy Ghost. I go to church. I go to church. Yeah, I go to church. I go to church. Hey, hey, amen. I love that song. So I got one more song for you guys, and I alluded to a moment ago about my father passing, and I remember the year he passed. It was 2016, and we were going into the Christmas holidays, much like we are now, and it was that first year he had passed, and I knew losing my dad was a big deal, but I think it wasn't until that holiday season came around that I really felt the weight of it in a different way. It was sort of like a season of first. It was the first, not having dad around on his birthday or my birthday or my kids' birthdays, and not having dad around at Christmas time, which was kind of a big deal because, our home wasn't always the most peaceful home at times, but Christmas sort of brought this special magic of peace, for us, and togetherness and community in a way. And so as that first Christmas was coming around, it really hit me because, I had my last Christmases with him, and it really made me pause and reflect on my own life, and making sure that as kind of each, not even milestones, but each day, each day that comes and goes, you only get one of them, so don't let it pass you by. And especially the Christmas season, for me, it's a special season, and it's one that with my kids that I want to make sure that I cherish each one of them, because again, like I say, you just never know when your last one's coming. So I'm going to sing this one for you. It's a song I wrote for my dad in honor of him, and a way for me to always remember that message. It's called Don't Let Christmas Pass You By. Gathered round the tree, Dad's dressed in red. He wasn't fooling me, that fake beard he had. I knew he wasn't Santa, but he sure could play the part. He'd make us take our time, each gift we had, one by one, would drive me mad. As I look back now, those memories are cold. I wanna go back to those days, stop time, replay just one more night. I won't let Christmas pass me by. Many years have passed, we still gather round, and he's still Santa with a real beard, grandchildren on his knees. He still can play the part. Well, these kids can be crazy, they always want to play. I swear he don't mind, he's in his favorite place. If home is where the heart is, his family is home. I wanna go back to those days, stop time, replay just one more night. I won't let Christmas pass me by. Oh, the call came in the spring, said he was gone. My heart sank, I put a brave face on. I knew this day was coming, but nothing could prepare. Last Christmas was the last one with my father there. I wanna go back to those days, stop time, replay just one more night. Oh, just one more day. Can't go back to those days, can't stop, replay, or take the time. Don't let Christmas pass you by. No, don't let it pass you by. Thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, Don. That was excellent. I'm going to unmute everyone again so that they can give Don a round of applause while I get Rhonda and Barb back here to answer any questions. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat. A Career Trek staff member will read them aloud to Rhonda and Barb. Rhonda and Barb, that's it for me. Over to you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you, Don. Thank you, to everybody who was here tonight for joining us. I was able to watch some of the comments. I have to admit, I had some lumps in my throat at different points throughout the evening. It was great to hear stories. The tribute to Gord was beautiful. Yeah, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But I think just a tremendous, shout out and thanks to everybody who was here and to everybody who made this happen. Thank you.
I will agree with Rhonda. This has been a fantastic evening, a great get together. I'm sorry we can't all be together, but I think the staff has done an amazing job of organizing this. And it's gone quite flawlessly. There's been a few glitches, but not anything very serious. So I'm very pleased with how it's gone. And again, if anyone has any questions, Rhonda will answer them.
Yes, I will.
And thank you to Don Amero. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was just lovely. Yes.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you to people who have commented, offering your support and appreciation for all that we do. We could never do it with all of you and so many more. So this is really a team effort. And like I said, I'm extremely grateful and so proud to come to work, each and every single day, even though the last 9 months it's been at my kitchen table. I'm still going to work, still, looking so forward to the future and all of the things that we'll be able to do together. It really is amazing the opportunities that exist and the ways in which we can continue to support children and youth in our province. It doesn't look like there's any questions, so I know we went a little bit over time. But again, I just want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight. As I mentioned, the printed report will be available for you to read and have a look at. And thank you so much to everyone who was involved. Oh, sorry, one question just came in at the last here. Kimberly, thank you. Is there an opportunity to increase the representation of Indigenous peoples on the board or within the organization? I can certainly start, with answering that. Yes, we are definitely mindful of the hiring and the places and spaces where we're working in the province, and we are making every effort we can from a hiring perspective to ensure that our staff are also representative of the participants that are in our program. So thank you for that question, and maybe Barb, I'll turn it over to you from a board perspective.
Yes, thank you. Hi, Kimberly. Absolutely. We are open to, we did a strategic planning session several years ago now. It's time for a new one, but at that time we identified that we would like to increase Indigenous participation on the board. So we're always open for that, and also encouraging Rhonda and the staff to increase the participation of Indigenous people on the staff as staff members. So yes, if you know of anyone who might be interested, just get them to send us a resume and we'd be happy to talk to them and see if it's a good fit for our board. That would be awesome.
Great, thank you for that. Going once, going twice, sold. All right, everybody, we will wrap up our evening together. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to the time when we can come together and have these kinds of conversations in person. But this, I guess, was the next best thing. So enjoy the evening, please stay safe, and we will see each other soon. Thanks, good night.